All right, welcome back, everyone. This is it, the grand finale of our whole AI Explainer series. We've gone from these huge, abstract ideas all the way down to the nitty-gritty of artificial neurons. And today is when we connect all those dots. We're going to see how it all leads to the AI that's literally all around us, changing our world as we speak. So let's get right into it. So, over the last few explainers, we've been building this picture, right? Piece by piece. But here's the real question, the one that matters most. How did we get from those early ideas to this? You know, the AI that writes poems, drives cars, and recommends our next favorite movie. How do all those concepts we talked about actually come together to create the stuff we see and use every single day? To figure that out, let's start with a really quick, high-speed recap, just to get all those key ideas fresh in our minds. Because honestly, this is the foundation for understanding everything that's happening right now. You remember our big umbrella analogy, right? At the very top, you've got the huge idea of artificial intelligence. Then, tucked right under that is machine learning, the whole concept of computers learning from data instead of us programming every single rule. And a really powerful way to do that is with deep learning, which uses these brain-like structures, which we call neural networks. See, each one just kind of fits right inside the next. And we also learned that not all of these neural networks are created equal. You can think of them like a team of experts, where each one is built for a very specific kind of job. We call them our specialist squad. And our two star players in that squad were the plate inspector, the CNN, which is just amazing at looking at images and knowing what's in them. And then there was the recipe follower, our RNN, which was designed to handle things in a sequence, like words in a sentence. But, and this is a huge but, our recipe follower had a really bad memory. It would get to the end of a long recipe and completely forget the first few ingredients. And that one little problem, it was a massive roadblock. You know, that memory problem? It actually led to a total revolution. It sparked the invention of a completely new kind of model, an architecture that didn't just tweak the old way of doing things, it absolutely changed the game. I mean, think about it. How are you supposed to understand a really complex idea if, by the time you read the end of the sentence, you've already forgotten the beginning? That was the big puzzle that AI researchers had to solve. And the solution wasn't just a chef with a better memory or a bigger notepad. Nope, it was a whole new kind of chef. Let me introduce you to the visionary chef. And this is where the whole approach just gets thrown out the window. The visionary chef, our transformer model, doesn't read line by line, no way. It's like it lays the entire recipe out on a giant table and just sees it all at once. And it has this superpower, literally called attention, that lets it see how every single word relates to every other word, no matter how far apart they are. Just like that, the memory problem, gone. Context is no longer an issue. And this game-changing transformer architecture, well, that's the engine behind the term you've been hearing everywhere, large language models, or LLMs. These are the massive models that have been fed just an incredible amount of text from the internet, and they use that attention superpower to really, truly understand language. And yep, this is it. This is the magic behind the most famous AI out there today. When you're chatting with something like ChatGPT, you're not just talking to a computer program, you're interacting with an LLM. You're basically talking to that visionary chef. Okay, so we've connected the dots from the basic ideas to the core technology. Now, let's go out into the wild and see how all this stuff is showing up in our lives, in the tools we might be using without even realizing it. We're going to look at three really cool examples: the cars that are learning to drive themselves, the movie recommendations that feel just a little too perfect, and the incredible art that can be created with just a few typed words. So let's start with self-driving cars. How do they see the world? Well, they're using our old friend, the plate inspector, the convolutional neural network. It's constantly scanning the feed from the cameras, identifying pedestrians, road signs, other cars. It's just visual pattern recognition working at an insane speed. Or think about Netflix. How on earth does it know you're going to be obsessed with that weird documentary from Norway? Well, that's unsupervised learning in action. It looks at the viewing data from millions of people and finds these hidden patterns, these little clusters of viewers. It has no idea why you like what you do, but it knows, hey, people who watched this sci-fi movie and that cooking show also, for some reason, really loved this documentary. And bam, there's your next recommendation. And then there's AI art, which is just mind-blowing. This is where that deep language understanding from Transformers really gets to shine. You type in a text prompt, a cat wearing a spacesuit in the style of Van Gogh, and the model understands the objects, the style, the relationships between all those ideas, and then it translates that understanding into a brand new image that's never existed before. Now, these examples are amazing, but you have to understand, they're really just the tip of the iceberg. The same technologies that recommend movies and create art are now being aimed at some of the biggest challenges humanity has ever faced. I mean, we're talking about using AI to speed up the discovery of new medicines, to build way more accurate models of our climate, and to find new patterns in data across pretty much every field of science. It's becoming this incredible partner for human innovation. So, yeah, from just a simple, almost science fiction idea of making machines smart, we've ended up here with what is without a doubt one of the most powerful and versatile tools our species has ever created. It's wild. And as we wrap up this whole series, it really boils down to one final huge question. The tool is here, it's in our hands. The real question is, what are we going to build with it?